Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have a review for a Collecta figure that's been out for a little while now, but it is an absolutely beautiful masterpiece of a figure in my opinion, and it is the Collecta. Now, I don't know, so many people say this thing in different ways. I would call it a Deinotherium, but some people call it a Deinotherium. There are all different ways that people like to pronounce this thing's name. I call it a Deinotherium, and it is a fantastic prehistoric creature, and it is an even more fantastic prehistoric model done here by Collecta. So let's get a closer look, and you can just see this beauty up close. Just look at this thing. This thing is just the most beautiful work of art. It is incredible. This is probably one of my favorite Collecta figures that Collecta has ever produced. It is just jaw-droppingly awesome. You can see that the paint on this thing just looks so real and so legit. The sculpt work is incredible. Look at the way that the ears are sculpted with the way they're folded. My God, that looks so real and so beautifully done. The eye is painted beautifully. There's a nice gloss over it, making it look very, very real. Absolutely awesome job done there. I really love the paint on this thing. I feel like it is such a realistic look. It really does look just like a living, breathing version of this animal if it were still alive. Even with the tusks here on the underside, you could see that the paint on them, it just looks so nice. They're so nicely weathered. It's really beautifully done. And the teeth on the inside of the mouth, sculpted nicely. The tongue, everything is really nicely sculpted on the inside of the mouth. It's painted beautifully. The trunk here on the front of the head is beautifully sculpted as well. Lots of little cracks and crevices. Just little tiny minute details as we run along the course of it. And everything is just painted so nicely. There are different variations of color all the way out. It looks incredible. Absolutely incredible the way that this thing has been sculpted and painted by Collecta. Now, it is no big secret that I am a huge fan of Collecta. I absolutely love them, but I feel like sometimes, every once in a while, the paint jobs on their figures tend to get not lazy, but they're not super realistic looking. Kind of like the Ceratosaurus that they had this year. I mean, I didn't really dig the paint on it too much. I didn't think it looked very real. It didn't look too much like the real coloration of the figure. The sculpt on that figure was fantastic, but the overall paint, basically on the face area of it, I wasn't a big fan of. But when you look at this thing, this looks like you pretty much just grabbed this guy straight out of time and brought him in a time machine, shrunk him down and froze him, and then handed him to me. It is just jaw-droppingly beautiful, and I will probably say that numerous times throughout this review, but it is 100% true. Look at the way that the sculpt work has been done. It just looks incredible everywhere you look. You even got some skin folds here on the side of the front leg here as it lifts up. You got some very nice, beautiful elbows. Even the feet are sculpted, of course, beautifully, but they're painted. There's no sloppiness with the nail paint at all. I love the subtle changing color as we get down into the feet from this reddish brown auburn type of a coloration that you have up here on the upper part of the animal. And then it changes to this lighter brown here on the lower part of the legs. And you also get the auburn color here. It's more of like a black in the center, but then there's that auburn, that beautiful auburn color. And then you get down here into the stomach and you can see it changes into that light brown again there as well. And the sculpt work is incredible everywhere. Some more little skin folds back here in front of the back leg, the rear leg. Even the back hair, the area back here is incredible as far as the sculpt and skin detail all over the place. It just looks incredible. Nails painted beautifully on the rear feet as well. And as Collecta always does, they include even the genitalia of the figure to really just throw in that extra bit of realism to show you just how good they are at making these prehistoric figures. It just looks unbelievable, and I cannot even begin to describe how much of a big fan I am of this figure. Even the tail back here looks fantastic. It is painted fantastic, and then it ends in this blackish type of a coloration and this little tuft of hair on the end of the tail. Everything about this thing just looks incredible. So there is a very, very good chance that this is my favorite Collecta figure, maybe ever, especially as far as realism goes. It just looks so real. And there are a few others that Collecta has produced that is very, very close to this, especially in the realism department. But this thing it's just unbelievable to me. I cannot even get over how nice this thing looks. I really am highly in love with this figure, if you can't tell by me babbling on like a little schoolgirl talking about a crush that I have at school. It's just awesome, absolutely awesome. As far as the size goes, from the tip of the trunk to the back here, pretty much of the tail, if we'll go to the tail, we're looking at about 9¼ inches long, or about 13½ centimeters. And for a height, we'll go to like the shoulder blade area, you're looking at about 4½ inches, or 11½ centimeters, somewhere in that area. So it is a pretty good size. For a size comparison with our friend the Papo T-Rex, you can see that this is a large figure. It is a deluxe figure, and that pretty much means that it's going to be a pretty large figure, as most Collecta deluxe figures are quite large, which is yet another plus in my opinion about this thing, because it just looks fantastic. It doesn't just look like a highly detailed model, it looks like it would be like a sculpture or something somewhere in a museum. It's just that nice. So Collecta's dinosaur figures and prehistoric line has always been one of my favorites. I love Collecta, and I've stressed this numerous times. They always make such great figures, but not only that, but they make a lot of obscure figures and a lot of obscure species that you wouldn't normally get anywhere else. However, I will say that I think that the one thing that they excel at more so than anything else is probably their prehistoric mammals. I feel like their prehistoric mammals are just, every time it's just jaw-dropping. Every single time. They never seem to have like a miss as far as these prehistoric mammals go. Every time I get one, I pretty much look at it and say, man, that looks like a living, breathing version of this animal right here in my hands. And this one is probably my favorite out of all. It is just unbelievable how nice this thing looks in person. You really have to buy one for yourself and hold it in hand to really take in the beauty of it and just have a great deal of respect for how nice this thing looks. It's just unbelievable in person, so I cannot recommend this thing enough to anybody that is a collector of prehistoric figures or a collector of prehistoric mammals specifically. This thing is just top of the line beautiful. If you do want to buy this guy, I will link you in the description to everythingdinosaur.com, where you can purchase one for yourself. And trust me when I tell you, if you're going to buy this guy, you will never in a million years regret it, because it is amazing. So go ahead, head over there, buy this guy. Trust me, you'll be thanking me for it later. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.